It is a new era in reproductive rights here in New York State, with new protections signed into law earlier today. Governor Hochul signing a bill that shields the identities of doctors who prescribe abortion medications. The move comes days after a New York doctor was charged with prescribing abortion pills to a pregnant minor in Louisiana. Well, the new law, which took effect immediately today, allows doctors here in New York to request their names be left off abortion pill bottles and instead list only the name of their health care practices. The governor, meantime, saying that she will defy the extradition order for this New York physician to be handed over to Louisiana authorities to face those charges. Keep in mind, Louisiana has a near total abortion ban. Physicians convicted of performing abortions there, including with abortion pills, face up to 15 years in prison and $200,000 in fines. They also would lose their medical licenses.
I must stand up and protect our doctors, and our doctors have this right to do this. I basically said there's no way in hell they'll ever respond to a request to extradite this individual and face criminal charges. Never, under any circumstances, will I sign an extradition agreement that sends our doctor into harm's way to be prosecuted as a criminal for simply following her oath.
Now, this case appears to be the first instance of criminal charges filed against a doctor accused of sending abortion pills to another state. This since the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade back in 2022. There is a lot to unpack here, and joining us live tonight is attorney Florina Altshiler. Great to see you as always.
Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
You bet. What should we make of this case? First of all, we talked about sort of the uniqueness of it, although we've been told stuff like this was coming. Let's talk about the case first and whether or not it would withstand, legal challenges to begin with.
Every state has the right to enact its own criminal laws, and in Louisiana, this is a crime. This was brought before a grand jury in the state of Louisiana, and a Louisiana grand jury indicted this physician. The physician resides here in New York, practices in New York, but technically committed a crime in the state of Louisiana by sending those abortion pills into the state of Louisiana where it's illegal.
The thing that's interesting here is the governor is saying flat out, I'm not going to comply with the extradition order. We're not going to turn this person over to Louisiana authorities. It does sort of set a kind of a standoff between these two states. Do the federal courts then get involved? How does that play out?
Yeah, technically it's a big rah, rah, rah stance of we're not turning her over. Well, that's all cute, but she's got criminal charges in Louisiana. Mm-hmm. What this means is Louisiana can't come into New York State and physically take her and bring her to Louisiana to face those charges. But if she ever travels to the state of Louisiana, if she ever goes into New Orleans, for example, she can be arrested. There's a warrant for her arrest for these charges. If she ever travels into a state that allows for extradition, so not Louisiana, but one of the other states that will extradite her to Louisiana, she can be arrested and brought to Louisiana. So New York providing the shield and not letting her be extradited doesn't mean that the charges go away or that the case magically disappears, unfortunately.
Yeah, she could live with that for many years to come.
For the rest of her life, if Louisiana wants to pursue this.
Yeah, there are going to be challenges to laws like this, though, right? I mean, I know the Supreme Court hasn't necessarily taken up this specific case, but you have kind of a strong argument that if you're in the state of New York and you're a doctor and you're prescribing an FDA-approved medicine, that you shouldn't be able to be charged criminally in another state, right?
Well, the only way to address this is for her to have a lawyer defend her in the state of Louisiana, push forward that defense, ultimately lose, and then appeal to a higher court and bring it to the Supreme Court, arguing that the law in the state of Louisiana is not constitutional, and we're not there yet.
Two final things real quick. Does it matter that it was a minor that was involved here, because that was who was prescribed the medication? And then secondly, this law that was signed today by the governor, do you think this would protect this from happening again because the doctors aren't going to have their names on the pill bottles?
Not really. Their practice group is on the pill bottle, and it's really not that different. difficult to Google the practice group and figure out who the physician was. So I don't see how this absolves them of criminal liability in the states that are interested in pursuing charges.
And then the fact that it was a minor.
My understanding is she mailed the pills to the girl's mother, and the mother then provided them to the girl.
This is a fascinating case and one that I think we'll be continuing to follow with any new developments. Florina Altshiler, great to see you as always. Thanks for helping us understand this.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we appreciate it.